Okay, stretch it out a little bit. Here we go. We're going to give about a minute here before I launch. I'm pretty sick today, guys. So if you're watching this afterward, I apologize. I mean, this cold has hit me like a ton of bricks. I did my podcast episode last night, and I'm not going to record this for the podcast. This is strictly going to be the live stream for the channel. This is not going to be put on the podcast channel. So let's get started. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle, the live stream. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently than what we've been doing in prior live streams. Instead of reading your questions, what I've decided to do is read your stories about frame flex, frame failure, etc. Okay, so basically we're going to do something a little different than what we normally do. I'm going to read emails that I've stored, not all of them, because obviously that would take several weeks at this point, it feels like. Hi, Theo, how you doing? So what we're going to do is I'm going to start putting together all these emails that I have gotten over the last 8 weeks, and I'm going to read them, okay? It's mostly out of me being me, because how do I put this? Well, let me just put it how I'd like to put it. I think everybody's story needs to be said. How you doing, Larry? Karen, nice to see you. Thank you guys for coming in. But I believe everybody's story should have a voice. And I'm going to leave out people's names and where they live, but I'm going to tell your stories. So I'm going to start with one I received recently. Okay, give me 1 second here. I have these all saved. And again, I'm so sorry about my voice, and I am got such a hell of a cold. It's not even funny. No, it's okay. Okay. So this one says, "Hi HB, I have experienced frame failure on my 2021 Keystone Montana Legacy 3121 RL. I am the second owner. It originally happened in December 2022. I called Keystone and they were quick to help. I got lined up with, I won't name the dealer, and everything was fixed under warranty by March 2023. They followed Keystone's TSB and added wood blocking for support, repaired the crack under the bedroom slide, and repainted the affected area. No out-of-pocket costs for me, thankfully. I just noticed that caulking around the front cap and the front slides of the RV are flexing and maybe showing signs of frame failure again. So frustrating, and I'm out of warranty now. While Grand Design might be taking the heat right now, it's happening across the board, as you stated, and Lippert is producing a poor product while shifting blame to everyone else. Thanks, and keep up the good fight." So again, you know, that's one of the Montanas that I added into my podcast when I did the percentages that everybody was pissed off at me about. Okay. Hey, Larry from Iowa, how you doing? So let's read another one. And this is just, I'm doing this because I think it needs to be said. I think these stories need to be told. Okay. These stories need to be told because I truly believe that if these aren't being said, then it's not real. Right? So none of this is real to a lot of people out there because they don't know the stories, because people are scared to tell their story. There's a few people, unfortunately, there's a few people out there, one of them recently, I don't blame him, but, you know, got off kind of the frame flex, frame failure thing. He was posting a lot of good videos, and unfortunately he has to take them down because there are circumstances that's going to help him get out of the current bad situation he's in, the unsafe position he's in. But he's one of the very few people that was willing to talk about it. There's hundreds and hundreds of communications that I've received about this. And it's like, I just feel like your stories kind of need to be told. Here's another great one. I own a 2017 Jayco Talon fifth wheel. It is a toy hauler with a 12-foot garage, and I had frame flex related issues. I don't really stay in the fifth wheel that often, maybe 4 to 5 trips a year. Usually we go less than 200 to 300 miles in any direction of our home. Usually it's less than 350 miles to 400 miles round trip. All of a sudden, I've noticed that the front cap, the floor, and the bedroom slide wall are separating from each other where I can see straight to the ground. This has been something that I had noticed around July of 2019. When I contacted Jayco originally was very reluctant to have it sent back to the factory and required me to go through their warranty process through my local dealership. My local dealership, unfortunately, was not equipped to handle this bad situation. And after about 2 months of bickering and arguing between the dealer, the manufacturer, and myself, I finally got a hold of the right person at Jayco, and I was able to get my Talon taken in and fixed and repaired. Now we're in early 2024, and of course, everything's fine now. We haven't seen any other issues structurally to our fifth wheel toy hauler, but I thought this would be good data for you. Okay, so another one, right? Okay, so that's a Jayco. Okay, here we go. We discovered early onset frame failure in our 2022 Grand Design Momentum 395 MSR. Since that discovery, we again contacted Chris Holland, Consumer Relations Manager at the Grand Design Customer Service Center, and she sent the SRT, Grand Design Service Response Team, to our location, not going to say the location, to confirm, even though he told me I could, I'm not going to do that, to confirm that we had what was frame flex, and with the arrival of 3 SRT trucks, they verified it was just barely within specifications, but definitely frame failure. Just so you know, Chris has been more than helpful, and I'm pretty sure by now she knows I have been very public about Grand Design's frame failure issues and their lack of communication with fifth wheel owners who are affected by this. Just so you know, we have the Moride independent suspension, disc brakes, and Gen Y executive pin box, and a Hensley trailer saver fifth wheel hitch. We got the independent suspension done about 5 months ago after purchasing our RV in May of 2022, and went full time June 5th of 2022. We were scheduled for repairs being done April 22nd, 2024. They offered January 22nd, but we are not going to Indiana in bloody January. Plus, we went to the Florida State RV Super Show, which was already on our schedule to visit. Okay. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Dear HB, we own a 2024 Grand Design Solitude fifth wheel that we were extremely excited, and now I have the biggest regret that I did not simply just put Grand Design RV problems into YouTube. If I had done this, we would have never in a million years have gone near this product. This has been the biggest nightmare of our lives. So far, we have had not only massive frame failure by our main slide out, but also massive failure around our bedroom slide out as well. What we were told is because we have a airbag pin box that was on there when we bought it from the dealership, and we have airbags in the back of our truck, we no longer qualify for the structural warranty. I do not understand this, as in every single person we talk to, from folks who have been truck drivers to folks that have transported them. Everybody we have met on the road full timing has told us that putting airbags in the truck should not at all affect the frame of the fifth wheel that dramatically. That realistically putting airbags in the truck helps actually the support, so that way you can have a better towing experience. We're not putting big huge springs or new suspension or anything else. We bought it as it sits at the dealership lot, and we are being told we are disqualified from the manufacturer to get any repairs done. And we bought this in September of 2023. I no longer feel comfortable even being in it, and I cry every single night because I know that our $140,000 total investment is probably worth less than 50 grand now. And now my husband is trying to find different ways to find a way to get out of this. We've reported it to every government agency that we can think of. We've talked to every single attorney that is in our local area. We've talked to attorneys in Indiana. We've talked to our insurance company. And so far, pretty much what we've been told is we're screwed. So I sent them Chris Holland's phone number because I have it. But it's just that right there pisses me off. That right there angers me. So I haven't gotten an update. That was, let's see, that was January 17th. I got sent that email. So roughly about, 2 months ago? So I don't know. I'm going to follow up with them. I haven't followed up with them yet. But how about that? You bought a coach in September. The first two emails I just read to you from Keystone and Jayco, the problem was at least attempted to be handled. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yet I'm jealous of Grand Design. I'm jealous because I don't get to sell their product. HB, we own a 2019, I don't understand what that is. Oh, Alpine by Keystone. It is a front living room floor plan. We absolutely love it, but we are having massive frame problems with it. Unfortunately, we are completely out of the warranty period by far, and I don't know what the previous customer did. But I know from watching all these videos, this may be something the previous customer I bought it from did, or it is something that is a factory malfunction. Unfortunately, I can't determine either way, and neither can the guy that came out and inspected it told me. I'm going to be $15,000 more into fixing and repairing the frame problem that I'm having, but it's similar to what everybody else is having as far as the flex at the pin box. I'm now at the point where the slide out in the bedroom will not close anywhere near flush and closes in crooked. And no matter how many adjustments my local service guy does, I cannot get it done. Shame on me for buying this from somebody that off of Craigslist. I feel bad because at the time it just seemed like a hell of a deal and a hell of a lot cheaper than what was at either dealership lots or what I could find on RV Trader through the local private party area. When I originally went out to look at it and hired an inspector to look at it, everything was fine. 2 years later now, my $30,000 cash that I paid for this fifth wheel is more than likely going to turn into a $60,000 to $70,000 investment. So shame on me in a lot of respects because I blame myself, because I didn't do enough research on this originally, nor did I not ask for another inspection and period. When I get this thing fully fixed where I feel comfortable selling it, once I have sold it, I'm not going to hire one inspector on the next one. I'm going to hire two, because I want two separate people to go look at the next rig I own, especially if I'm buying a fifth wheel. So far, I'm looking at Riverstone, Redwood, Arctic Fox, and a few others that you have mentioned, including Alliance Paradigm. And so far, the quality concerns that people always have about cabinetry and flooring and countertops, I've noticed it's identical to everything I've looked at in Grand Design. Just a little less lipstick, as you say. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I'm going to give you guys a couple things here in a minute too, okay? Let's go to the next one. This one probably, this is a very common one, okay? I'm going to read this one. This one I've received some version of this more than 50 times, okay? But this one was very articulate. It was one of the first ones I got that actually got me all emotional, where I got on my podcast and started absolutely going nuclear, which I probably shouldn't have done, but it is what it is. Dear Honey Badger, my husband and I are in the worst position that we could ever feel like we're in. Please do not share my information. Please do not share anything I give you or give details about it, because I'm afraid that if I go public with what I have, that my fifth wheel will not get worked on by Grand Design. I have been in touch with several people at Grand Design, and so far they have massively dragged their feet. And I feel like if I go on any kind of Facebook group, or if I put a video anywhere, whether it's TikTok or Instagram, that I'm instantaneously going to be put in the back of the line. My husband does not have long to live. We made the decision after he was diagnosed with cancer that we were going to travel the entire United States and Canada. We were going to sell our home and hit the road for every day he had left. I took driving lessons to learn how to tow. My husband was a truck driver, and I learned to tow his massive semi-truck boxes, trailer boxes, in order to learn how to do a fifth wheel. We were sold on the entire concept of Grand Design being the absolute best manufactured RV out there, and that no one else was even close. I was mesmerized by the beautiful cabinetry. In a lot of your episodes and in a lot of your blogs, you put that it is a pig with a lot of lipstick. Well, I fell in love with the lipstick. And the salespeople, both at Grand Design and at the dealership we bought it at, which was at a show, were very convincing that this was the only product in the market that could be full-time lived in and full-time traveled in. We got less than 3,000 miles into the trip, and we cannot go any further. We had to leave our Momentum fifth wheel at a park and have it professionally towed back to our land in our state. I'm not going to mention state or anything else, because it is unsafe to do it. So I started going on YouTube and started going on Google, and I'm finding out these massive problems. And now I feel like a dummy because I didn't do any more homework, but look at what I perceived to be the quality of this fifth wheel. I looked at Cedar Creek, I looked at Riverstone, I looked at Mobile Suites, and every one of them just did not catch my eye. And now I'm at a point where I can do nothing but wait and hopefully be patient that something happens. Hopefully Grand Design will buy us out of this unit, so that way my husband and I can go and buy a motorhome and try to finish out the last years of his life, or the last months of his life. If you have any contact people, please share the information. So I did. So apparently I'm jealous of Grand Design. I'm jealous that all these people are having these massive problems and reaching out to me. I'm extremely jealous that, I don't have their product on my lot. I'm extremely jealous and my lawyer's full of shit. It sickens me. It sickens me that there's so many stories. How about a guy who has a repair team that comes out to his site in Arizona, and the guy puts the proper stands and everything up, and as soon as he lifts the front legs to test the frame, the frickin' fifth wheel pretty much falls and his wife's inside? That's fucking quality? Come on. It's interesting because I got a fresh email, and I really appreciate it. This was 2 hours ago, and I think she's on here. She usually is. It says, "Hey John, FYI, your audio isn't much different, even though you had a different mic. It's actually better because it doesn't block your face." Oh, thank you. I wish that was blocking my face right now because I feel like crap. This freaking cold's just killing me. By the way, if you're having fun making videos where you're defensive type of video, then all by all means go for it. But you have no reason to be defensive to rude people who are probably irritating you in comments. Just remember, comments and discussion in the comments helps your channel. You don't need anyone like you to have your opinion or facts. Don't worry about it. Keep generating videos and don't let these people shape your content. Never will. Trust me, they'll never get to me. If you ever get bored and want to see how to do it, look up the YouTuber named Not a Rubicon. He's a super sarcastic towards some people and it's hilarious. Also, if you were ever jealous to sell Grand Design, then I am sure that you would have turned to embarrassment by now, but I am sure you were never jealous. So I have a statistical question for you. The owners of Brinkley were at Grand Design until what year when Winnebago bought out Grand Design? We'll stop right there. First of all, Winnebago started the process and finalized the process of selling Grand Design to Winnebago in 2016. Now, the guy Don Clark was one of the founders and one of the folks that started the company, and he stayed with Grand Design. Now, allegedly, and there's a lot of speculation that he has some kind of backdoor investment in golden parachute to go to Brinkley if Grand Design ever goes to hell. That'll be interesting. So what year did that occur versus what year do people reporting frame failure? So that's interesting because the frame failure I'm getting reported on Grand Design side is solely with momentum in solitude, with the exception of a couple reflections. Not very many, not a red flag saying reflections got a big problem. It doesn't. It's more like in the percentages of every other manufacturer. But it's usually about 2017 or newer. Okay. Now, on top of that, you have to realize something. This is something I don't talk about, that I haven't talked about yet. Okay. I talked about it with a guy named Greg and a guy named Pete, but I'll talk about it with you now. Okay. Grand Design RV had something nobody remembers. But when they first came out with the Solitudes and Momentum fifth wheels, they had a massive axle recall. It was huge. Okay, and that was when Grand Design was Grand Design. So the underutilization and the under construction and under engineering of this stuff, alleged, all the allegations and everything, has been going on since the beginning of the company, before Winnebago got them. But it was originally an axle recall on the majority of their fifth wheels. So they've had a massive problem with their fifth wheels in some way or another since their inception. Now remember, they're a 13-year-old company. They're not a 40-year-old manufacturer. You're not a 55-year manufacturer like Jayco or Forest River, or let's go back to the days with Keystone and Cruiser and KZ and Winnebago Motorhomes. These are all guys that have been around a very long time. Grand Design is still this very new company. Brinkley is still this very new company. Okay, Outdoors RV is still a really reasonably small company. And the differences, the massive differences between what a company like Grand Design or Jayco or any of these folks is, they mass build and mass produce, when you have like an Outdoors RV or an Arctic Fox that build a limited amount per year. Okay, like Lance Travel Trailers, when they were their own company, they only built a limited amount. They didn't mass build. They figured out, okay, this is how many we think we're going to sell for the year, and that's all they built, unless there were special orders. Same with truck campers, Northern Light, Bigfoot, a lot of these truck sliding campers, they don't mass produce them. Okay, so that's kind of the things that that come out, right? So when there's been mass production of stuff, there always is going to be some form of Armageddon problems once in a blue moon, because you can't build 1.6 million RVs in a 2.5 year period and nothing go wrong. Same thing in the automotive industry. There are tons of lemons. There are tons. There's big percentages of cars that are recalled and bought back by factories on a yearly basis. Okay, look at Hyundai. I own a Hyundai, and they just had a massive recall on a lot of the Hyundais and Kias because they're getting stolen. So we always assume that the automotive industry is so engineeringly perfect, but anything built, anything put on the road may or may not have problems. But usually with a manufacturer that's been doing it for 2, 3, 4 decades, they've already gone through that break-in period. And the really interesting story of that is Weekend Warrior. Weekend Warrior has kind of a similar story to a lot of these other manufacturers that are small independents. So Weekend Warrior started out like a house on fire. They were like this unique, enjoyable, like badass, never been done type of situation. And Thor Wanderer and Thor Transport and Gearbox and MPG and I can't remember the Keystone. I think it was Keystone Carbon back then, if I remember correctly. They didn't have nothing on Weekend Warrior. Weekend Warrior was the greatest and the best quality and the best cabinetry and the most badass coach on God's green earth. And what happened? Frame problems sunk them. Okay? Some other things, if you get my drift, sunk them too. But the reality is the story is very similar, because you started seeing a very common denominator. Dealerships started hitting Weekend Warrior toy haulers like pretty much they didn't want them on trade. Like when I worked at Giant RV for a short period of time, we didn't want Weekend Warriors unless we could wholesale them. We didn't want them in trade years ago. We're like, no way. We don't want the responsibility. We're wiping our hands clean of it. Like, oh, you got a Weekend Warrior, and let's say book was 10 grand, we'll give you $1,500. Why? Because we didn't want the responsibility if there was a big frame problem. So we would be able to sell it to like a scrap yard. When we did take them on trade, we sold them off to wholesalers and pick-up part places that would take the refrigerators and take all the appliances out and scrap the rest of it. Okay, so one of those situations where what my fear is, and this is just based on the allegations and the speculation of it all, okay, my fear is these Grand Design Solitudes and Momentums, okay, with all the allegation, the hundreds and hundreds of communications that I've gotten that involve and allege that Grand Design is screwing these people, and it's all allegations and speculation because nothing's been proven in court or anything of that nature. But the reality is that if it got to that point, we're not talking about $30,000, $40,000 toy haulers. We're talking about $100,000 to $170,000 fifth wheels that people have invested their hard-earned money into. Okay? And these aren't like, oh, my electrical's not working. Oh, my slide has never worked. Oh, it's not something that can be repaired and fixed. This is something that may or may not be at all fixable over the long haul, over the long term. And then you're then backing up and you're telling people you can full-time in these fifth wheels. But then when somebody tells them that they're full-timing in it, or that they're staying in it at a park because they're on a 2 or 3 week trip, now all of a sudden these people are reaching out to me and telling me they're being questioned, that there's questionnaires being asked. And then you have, and I'm sorry, you have and I feel bad for Chris Holland. This is the person I feel the worst for over at Grand Design, because she has to deal with all this. Because that's whose number and email I'm giving everybody, because I'm not going to give him Don Clark's info. Because if I gave him Don Clark's info, that's a waste of time, because he's just going to give it to Chris Holland and wipe his hands clean of it. The only time he's going to make a phone call is when somebody's wife is in a fifth wheel while the fifth wheel collapses because of frame failure while a technician's checking it. Let's be real. If he's scared of a lawsuit, it's the only time he's going to call somebody. If it's a mass problem, he's going to just walk away and make his other people do it. Hey, you know, if that's what she's going to do, if that's what he's going to do, if that's the speculation and the allegations people are pretty much making in the industry. If you talk to a lot of people, if you talk to all the people I've been talking to on the vending side, all my sources have told me that pretty much every other manufacturer is aware of the frame problems that Grand Design is having. And when people call in, if they're a new owner or second owner, not everybody's gotten the same response, okay? I'm not going to say that Keystone's been perfect. And by the way, I don't sell Keystone products, or at least Montana. I'd love to sell Montana, but apparently, you know, I don't sell them. Yet I'm the one telling folks that they've been okay. There hasn't been massive problems. I've had some emails, and I'd say outside of 2, maybe 3, it was all taken care of, or at least was attempted to be taken care of. So what I've been understood is a lot of the other manufacturers, including Jayco, including Forest River, including Coachman, including Arctic Fox, including Riverstone, including Mobile Suites, they are aware of this problem. They're aware of the situation. And they want to do something about it when people call in. And if you guys remember right, for those of you that follow the channel and follow the podcast, I have asked for over 3 months for folks to give me this information. And how come the super majority, close to 80% of people, no, not 80, sorry, close to 75% of people have told me a Grand Design Solitude or Grand Design Momentum? How come? How come it's not spread evenly? How come I'm not getting more emails about every other heavy fifth wheel out there that's on a Lippert chassis? How come? How come I'm not getting that mass thing? Why? You want my opinion? It's because the manufacturers like Keystone, like Jayco, anybody that uses a Lippert chassis, they've been in business long enough to know that if they don't try to at least minimize the damage and minimize the exposure by actually taking care of people. And again, RV manufacturers, I've always said, suck when it comes to dealer relations. In fact, most of the time, they want you to take it back to their factory. Right? Okay. I wonder if Grand Design bought Greg out of his Solitude. He said he just bought an Alliance. I don't know, Greg. I haven't talked to Mr. Carson in a little bit about it. He'll get to me. They actually have you sign an NDA. He tells you the truth. I hope Greg is up front. He sounds like I hope so. Hey, you know, Greg will give an update when he's ready to give an update. Greg Carson's a good man. I've talked to him over the phone a couple times. He's a good man. He'll when he's ready to tell people what he's done, he'll do it. Okay. When he's ready to tell me what he's done, he'll tell me. Okay. So, you know, probably not. And that's the other interesting part. A lot of the folks that I've talked to or that have reached out to me have had a Grand Design fixed have been told they have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So allegedly, Grand Design is telling you, okay, we'll fix it, but you can't ever talk about it ever again, or we'll sue you. I don't know. There's a guy named, what was the guy's name? I think it's Tom from Journey something.life. Him and his wife were in a Momentum. And he talks about his 2017 Columbus had frame failure, and they didn't mind make him sign an NDA. In fact, guess what? He still talks about it to today. Off and on in videos that I see of him. He talks about it. So obviously Forest River Incorporated doesn't make you sign an NDA when they make a mass fix on a frame. Why does Grand Design? So suspect, man. I mean, I don't think they understand that these stories, and it's just crazy. Anyway, let me finish this email. This email says, I saw a video today from RV Carnivore, and his Alliance is out of warranty and has major problems with the floor, not frame. He is out of warranty, and Alliance is helping him out with the entire cost. Just a different way of handling situations. Drink a good beer for me tonight. And I normally would, but I'm sick as a dog, and I don't want to get sick anymore. Okay? So anyway, let's see. Alliance. Let's see the owners. I've known them for a long time. And let's see. They care about the customer. They're at the majority of the influencer rallies. Grand Design is not. Alliance has some pretty interesting brand ambassadors. Let's see. Would they take care of people? I think so, because they want to keep their brand going and they want to be known as a good customer service place. You know. Yeah, they want nothing said or written, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking rubbish. Yeah, well, that's what every single troll says. It's just the way it is. And that's the thing. Well, I'll take their shit all day. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with the trolls. You could troll me if you can prove to me otherwise what's going on. If you can come out and tell me that you have evidence that it's not Lippert and it's not Grand Design and it's not any of the other manufacturers, that it's actually the owners that are the problem, or the dealer, or the salespeople, or the training, or whatever the case may be, if you have evidence that these allegations are absolutely false and wrong, I want to hear about it. I don't mind hearing about it. There's always an opposite. But to tell people in general, to tell the people that are going through this, that put their hard-earned money into something like this, that planned this for years, and you want to call them names and troll them? It's just not right, man. It's not right at all. You know? I think the trolls are Grand Design owners who see... No, I don't think so. I think I traced one of the emails I got, because see, the interesting part is this is a gentle stone. The interesting part about one of the emails, there's an AI program where you could put an email in, and it usually only works with Gmail or Yahoo. When you put a Gmail account in this AI program, it generates if there's any other emails under that account. So I found one. I'm not going to expose the person because that's not right. But it's actually a salesperson that works at a dealership that has a YouTube channel. And no, it's not one at a big corporate one. It's somebody that's, I think they have like 3 total stores. And he's a little troll, and they sell Grand Design at every one of their stores. And he was one of the original people that reached out to me and told me that my lawyer's full of crap, that I'm giving false information, that I should be shut down and arrested for giving bad info to people, that I'm jealous about Grand Design. So I finally traced who it was, and I pretty much blocked them from seeing any more of my content, because then they'll never know it happened. But there's people like that. I don't think it pisses off the owners. I don't think I'm making the owners mad. I don't even think Grand Design cares that I talk about it, because if they did, I'd hear about it. But what I believe the people that are mad are the people whose paychecks are dependent on selling Solitude and Momentum fifth wheels. They're big money makers for salespeople at dealerships. Huge money makers. They make their entire paycheck and their living, their big fancy cars, their big fancy trips, because they make a ton of profit on Solitude and Momentum fifth wheels across the country. So when we're talking about this, it makes anybody like that be defensive. It's just like, for example, if I told you tomorrow that diesel trucks, your F-250, your Chevy 2500, could no longer be sold at new dealerships starting tomorrow because whatever, XYZ, then car sales guys whose paychecks depend on those kind of truck sales would instantaneously become up in arms and defensive over it. So I think that's the majority of what's going on. Yeah, well, Alliance also is owned by a couple of guys that I know personally or used to know personally when I used to talk to them. And, you know, they are a different breed. They actually always have been that way, even when they were at Heartland. Okay. Is Airstream doing anything about the front pin failure? Airstream doesn't make a fifth wheel that I'm aware of. I would not buy a Brinkley either. Well, I don't blame you. God, it makes sense. I do emphasize that they're being put in that position by Grand Design. That's true to a point. Yep, owners don't care. Bad publicity is good publicity. Brinkley looks good, but what's behind the walls? Well, I'm going to find out, Larry. I'm actually going to get to go out and do a Brinkley. I'm planning on doing it in April. I already have scheduled it. I'm going to go out and film 3 floor plans, and I'm going to go do what I normally do on this channel and kind of tell you what I like and I don't like, and tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And to be honest, I think, I actually believe that they're building a good product right now. I don't see any red flags yet. The only red flag I see is their consistency of blowing up a company for 4 or 5 years and then dumping it to a major corporation. That's my only fear with it. My other fear is are the allegations and speculation against Don Clark true? Is it true that Don Clark, the CEO of Grand Design, has a backdoor golden parachute into Brinkley? I don't know. Nobody really knows, nor will we ever know. Those are the only things that worry me about Brinkley. Has Winnebago actually came out and said anything about their new baby? I saw their stock was tanking. No, nobody said anything. In fact, what kind of really irritated me is, I don't know if you guys saw, I don't remember if I did it on the podcast or I did it on this channel. But I did a thing where everybody's telling me that Grand Design responded. And I want to thank JD. I know people have been giving JD a lot of crap from Big Truck, Big RV. And I understand why everybody's giving him crap. It's not like I'm telling you guys not to. But what I will say is if I didn't see his video and if I didn't get into his description box, I would have never found the link to actually see what Grand Design's supposed response is. They still haven't put, now I could be wrong, maybe I can't find it, but they still have not announced anything through rvbusiness.com at all. They have not addressed any allegations. They have not addressed anything. All they put was an FAQ out, which just about lit me up beyond a Christmas tree. I was so pissed and so just done. Like, I was planning on sending all the information that I had, that I gathered. I was going to put on a nice spreadsheet, and I was going to send it directly to them. Break down model number, break down this, break down that. And it was taking me a while. I'm like, you know what, it might take me 4 or 5 months, but I'm going to get this together for them. And after I saw that, I stopped doing it. I'm like, you know what, these guys don't care. By reading what they had, it was a CYA, cover your ass situation. I was like, you know what, there's no way I'm doing that. Go to hell. Looking into a fifth wheel open range. I hear lots of negative reviews. What do you think? Open range and Jayco are pretty much the same company, man. I mean, open range is fine. I don't particularly like them because, to me, it just feels a little flimsy inside. I mean, I have had some used ones that so far the folks haven't had any issues that I've sold on consignment and sold. I sold them brand new. They're lightweight, but they just feel a little flimsy to me. But they're not as they have a nice interior design. Everything the lipstick looks really good. It just feels flimsy. But again, like I say, I've sold some used ones on consignment here. over the last 5 years, and so far nobody has called me and yelled at me about any major Armageddon level issues. But then again, I prefer to sell somebody, if it's something I'm going to sell them, I prefer to sell them like a Cougar, which I don't carry unfortunately, or a Flagstaff Rockwood or an Arctic Fox. To me, Flagstaff Rockwood, which are the same coach, are a lot better product overall. They just don't have the lipstick. You know, their lipstick is not, their lipstick interior design game is still like ancient. Gotta love thinkers and fact checkers. Oh yeah, gotta love them, D. Yeah, I got Ohio Riz. Thank you. Stay away from anything that says light. There you go, Larry. Well, I disagree with that, because Chaparral by Coachman makes the Chaparral X Light and the Chaparral Light, and they've been decent products for years. They're not the best quality in the world, but they're decent and affordable, and they don't have the major Armageddon level issues that a lot of other brands do. So I a little disagree with you on that, Larry. I think just like open range in general is not the they're, if I remember right, they're still under the Jayco and Thor umbrella, and under Highland Ridge too. And they've always, that kind of division has kind of been like StarCraft over the years. Kind of like, it's been hit or miss. Affordable, just enough lipstick, just light enough, just affordable enough where they get their market share. You know, but when I'm inside of them, it's, especially when I get them used, I just don't do it for me. You know, I walk around a lot. When I go into shows, when I go into the big Indiana show, which is like dealer days, right? And when I walk into everything, I walk in the bedroom and see if I hear any creaking. That's what I really look for. If I hear creaking right away, it feels flimsy to me, right? Oh, okay. Cool, Blair. Thank you. Thank you for answering. Okay, I mean, that's fine, Gerard. I mean, you know, I would look into the Cougar too and the Flagstaff and Rockwood before you go to an open range. I mean, again, that would be the best way to do it. Hi, Sarah. We are thinking of buying a Rockwood fifth wheel 8288 SB. Very cool, Dennis. They're a good coach. I like the Flagstaff better because I like the graphics and design better. I like the little things because they're Rockwood and Flagstaff, 97% of the coach is identical. Identical floor plans, identical cost. Your graphics are different. Little tiny, very weird little things are very different between Rockwood and Flagstaff. Like, you have to really look for the differences. And I like those differences better in the Flagstaff than I do the Rockwood. That's just my opinion. But again, Rockwood is a good product. Ember, not really. I have no interest in even selling those things. Ember is under the Forest River umbrella, if I remember right. So it just is a same kind of manufacturer. Yeah, I don't blame you, Larry. I mean, by the end of October, he was peed off. Helped him fix it all summer, and he took it back to the manufacturer and still had issues. Yeah, Peter. I mean, I know that feeling. I'm looking at a Jayco Whitehawk 26FK. Really like the front kitchen floor plans. That's good. Hey, Whitehawk's a good coach. Expensive, but nice coach. Okaloosa Quark TV. You know, again, if you want something to go compare and look, you could go look at the Flagstaff and Rockwood 26 FKS. You could look at the Cougar 25 FKS. You can look at Alliance Paradigm is now making a front kitchen. So you got a lot of options there if you like the front kitchen to see which one you like the best. But Whitehawk's a good product. It always has been a very good product. And what is this? Maybe dogs. Wow, there's a lot of freaking. There's a lot of freaking trolls out there today. Okay. Now I want to read something very interesting to you guys, okay? This was an email sent to me. I'm going to read it out loud because I think it's a really good one. Dear HB, I have a few questions about you personally. First off, I still do not understand why you are not able to carry a lot of these manufacturers you talk about. You talk about Keystone, Cougar, Alliance, several other brands that you say you'd love to carry and sell but are unable to. I do not understand why a manufacturer would not want their product on your lot, especially with the following that you're starting to gather. It says, I've noticed and saw you grow over the last 2.5 years, and you're continuing to grow and get a nice community going. I don't understand why a manufacturer would not want to have their product on your lot. The next question, I'll answer one question at a time. So that question is very easy to answer. There's dealer agreements that are signed. So Alliance, for example, okay, I'm pretty sure Coley Brady would love to have the product on my lot. I was, in the top 2 or 3 Bighorn, Cyclone, and Landmark salesmen in the country. God, you're going back 10, 12 years ago. Okay, so I'm pretty sure him and a lot of the guys over at Alliance would love to have their stuff on my lot. But there's a couple things involved. There's dealer agreements that are signed, okay? So there's already a dealer set up in Las Vegas, which is only 56 miles away from my dealership. And the dealer agreements in Nevada are cut up by mileage. So generally they will get a 100-mile radius. So they can't put 2 dealers within a 100-mile radius according to the dealer agreements, okay? Yeah, I'm not drinking today. God, no. So Montana, Cougar, Jayco products. Jayco has been at Johnny Walker RV for decades in Las Vegas. They're not going to rock the boat with their 4th biggest dealer in the country. I think they're 4th or 5th biggest total dealer in the country. They're not going to rock the boat with those guys. So it isn't that they don't want to have me have the product. There is dealer agreements that are signed that previous to me coming over here that doesn't allow them to do it. Okay. Good mid-bunk 5th wheel under 37 feet long. None. They're all over 37 feet in total length. If you're looking at for 36 or 37 as the model number, then Sabre would be a good one to look at, or Keystone Cougar, or even Alliance Paradigm. Hope he's not bought out. Laugh out loud. Right on for Tom. Don't drink. You're too sick. Too many trolls. Yeah, I know, Larry. It's crazy. The next part of the question is, I'm still not understanding you seem to be defending Brinkley in a way because they're not letting outsiders except for their own social media strategists and influencers to talk about their product. I cannot find anything negative at all, and it kind of throws a red flag. And I've been waiting and hoping that you would be able to get yourself a hold of one so that way you could actually tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly, as you put it. So please, let me know and explain it to me. Why does that not raise a red flag to you? Okay. So it doesn't raise a red flag because they don't want so when you're a new company of any kind, okay, you especially when you already know how to grow a brand. The reason why I'm not harping on Brinkley about this is because, number one, they want to control their own narrative, and they're still in the infancy stage. They're not even 2 years old yet, realistically. They're still a little baby, a little infant. They barely came out with a prototype, 2 years ago? So they're not even to the point where they've sold 1,000 units, I think, yet. I last time I looked at Stat Survey, I think they were around like 200 or 300. So they're not like this mass producer, and they're trying to keep their stuff in house because they're trying to build a brand. Now you come bring the guy who's got a monkey wrench into it, even though I'll give them praise if they've done something right. Any kind of negative publicity in their mind is not good business. And it looks like that was the same thing they carried over and took into Grand Design, because obviously with all the allegations and speculation around the frame failure of Grand Design, and everybody telling me allegedly that Grand Design is, of course, having you sign NDAs to fix your rig or buy back your rig, that probably came from where Brinkley was, let's say, 10 years ago. Or sorry, where the Brinkley guys were 10 years ago with Grand Design. So just to kind of give you that idea, that's why it hasn't thrown a red flag my way yet. And I don't get any emails or complaints from people yet. So again, they're a little baby infant. They haven't even grown into their big boy diapers yet. But I am going to get a hold of a couple of them, so I'm kind of happy about that. Yeah, dude, my eyes are swollen. Absolutely swollen. What is your website to see some of your inventory? John Macias, what you want to do is go to any of my videos, and all my videos have the RVExchangeOutlets.com website in there. I don't have much inventory right now, mostly travel trailers. I have like 3 fifth wheels left. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, my eyes are all swollen. I mean, I was sick as a dog yesterday. I was crazy. So far, Grand Design travel trailers have not been affected by any of these problems. So Imagine, Transcend, Solitude, Momentum. I got one email about a Momentum problem the other day. That was a travel trailer, but that was my first one. Okay, I most of the time, and I saw one guy send me an email about his tongue snapping on his Imagine. But outside of those 2 emails, I've received nothing about the travel trailers at Grand Design, only the fifth wheel Solitude and Momentum. Okay. Rudolph, yeah, we need to friggin' get to Christmas already so I can do that. Can someone explain to me on why you need 2 sinks in a bathroom and a fifth wheel? Nice floor plans, but do you need 2 sinks? Peter, it's all personal preference, man. I have a lot of people that love 2 sinks, and I have some people who think it's a waste. I think the trolls are due to this live stream format, different than other YouTubers' format, vertical and limited options. I also accidentally swiping to someone else's stream. Yeah, well, that could be, but I've been doing vertical forever. Most of the trolls I get are from my videos and my podcast, not very much here. I'm talking about the real trolls. Feel better, thank you. Hope you feel better, thank you guys. Can manufacturer tell a dealer if you don't take better care of a new owners or coaches? No, they won't do that, Jim, because the thing is you don't see the behind the scenes, Jim, about this. The behind the scenes is most of the manufacturers treat dealers like crap. Okay, I've been on the side of, I'm going to tell you though, ever since this following has been growing, ever since this channel has grown, they changed their tune with me, because I used to get in real hardcore bullfights with service people at the factory side, no matter what manufacturer it is. And I called them the other day pissed about a unit that was delivered that the freaking black tank was full and there was just piss and shit in the trailer. And I was just, oh my God. And nothing freaking worked. And I had it up to here, and I went nuclear. And usually when I go nuclear, they go nuclear back, and then it ends up a negotiation about how much, they're going to give me a discount, or whether they're going to give me this, or whether they give me that. No. And I think because I have this following, they instantaneously took that thing back to the factory, replaced the toilet, replaced the black tank, replaced like 60% of the coach, re-sanitize the whole thing, and it looks like amazing. So, but most of the time dealers manufacturers don't treat dealers very well. They never have. To make it more like a house on wheels. There you go. You look like Shane McMahon, and that's not a bad thing. Well, thank you, CM Punk. Hi, everybody. Take some NyQuil and get some rest. Oh, I will. Trust me. I need to get a good night's sleep because I got a lot of videos to do. I haven't done very much. Can you lease an RV? No, you can't. What do dealers look for in a trade-in? Well, what I personally look for is how old are the tires. I look for damage on the outside, damage on the inside. I climb on the roof and see if there's any roofs in the. I like lift all the cabinets to see if I smell any moisture. Once I kind of know what the physical actual look of the trailer is, I can kind of determine what I think I can get for it. So for example, I had a 2011 Sports Trek travel trailer got traded in, and when I went inside, it was tore up pretty bad. Everything worked, but everything was pretty tore up. Guy had listed online for like 15 grand for 6 months, couldn't sell it. After going through everything in it, I thought, I could probably get 7 or 8 grand for it at the most. And I ended up selling it for like, I think 6,500, I think is what I sold it for. So that's what I look for. And I kind of look at, okay, I don't look at what people list them for, because list prices on the internet are all bullshit. They always have been. Okay. What I look at is, okay, if I want to give a little bit of flexibility. I don't want somebody walking away if they're offering me $500 less or $1,000 less or something. But there's a reality to where I think, okay, this is what it should sell for, and that's what I list it for. And that's based on the physical condition and then what it's going to cost me to make sure everything works. So that's how I look at it. I saw an RV that I wanted to buy before I can get a hold of my credit union. It was sold already by private order. I wanted to cry. But Seek Mom, the one thing you want to do, if you're trying to buy private party used, it's going to be tough because a lot of people already have their loans set up. It's easier to buy from a dealer, okay? Because a dealer, you can give them a deposit, sign a contract, which is a purchase order, take it to your bank, the bank will cut you the check. Okay, it's a little more complicated with a private party sale most of the time. Some states it's easier, some states it's a lot more complicated, but you can go get a buyer's order from, a dealership if they got the same product and just walk into your credit union and get a check. And a lot of times your credit union, surprise or not, your credit union is probably going to be a higher rate and a shorter term than most of the dealer financing, but you never know. It depends on your credit, really. Just subscribe. Can you shout out Philon? Yeah, Philondi. Hi, Philondi. Yeah, but Theo, when you go down to your credit union, they want you to have a purchase agreement with all the right numbers before they actually cut you a check, and that's what she's probably referring to. There are 2 Larrys, Larry. There's Larry Salverton and there's Larry Couch. One guy owns a Cedar Creek, and that's you, Larry Couch. I'm trying to sell my car on OfferUp. It's listed for $3,200 and people want to come asking to pay $500. I'm like, no, I'm good. Michael, that's the problem, is there's a perception of what something's really valued at. I just sold a car here, a little used Toyota Camry. And everybody here at the dealership lot, my technicians are like, oh, you're going to get like 4 or 5 grand for that thing. It's sought after. So I put it out. I decided to show them that they're full of crap. And what I did was I listed the Camry for 5 grand. I got no offers. I dropped the price to 4 grand, got no offers. Dropped it down to what I thought it was going to sell for, which is $750, and I got 223 responses in 2 hours. So what you think the value of something is and what reality is a lot of times very separated. Okay. Nuts. Somebody block HM. Okay. Should I go for a used or new since it's my first time? You know what? Basik, one thing I would tell you is it's up to what you can afford monthly. Okay, so if you're a $200 a month payment type of buyer, you need to look at stuff that's 20 grand or less. So it's more about money than it is about new or used. So, you know, if you're a $300 a month buyer, then you should look for something between 28 grand and 34 grand. Okay. So payment and price correlate really close to each other. More so than it does in the car business. So, you know, you need to decide that. Okay. How does it work for out-of-state buyers? Temp tags, register in my home state, register in Nevada. No, they won't let me register it here if you're not a Nevada resident. So you pay your taxes. You pay your taxes and your registration out of state. You just get a one-way trip permit. That's all you get. But whatever state you're in, Gentle Stone, we recommend you go get a temp tag from the DMV of your local DMV when you go pay your taxes. They'll give you a temp plate and everything. We give you everything you need. I've gotten the KB value in books over $4 grand. Michael, that's not what it's worth. I'm telling you, brother, go lower your price. You'll get 100 people to respond. It's what KBB means nothing. JD Power means nothing. It's what people actually were willing to pay for your car, your RV, your boat. There are stuff like used Airstreams. So 1965, 66 Airstreams. People pay 20, 25 grand for that trailer. But in 1981, 1982, they're willing to pay $1,000, $2,000. Okay, so everything has a different type of value. Okay. I want to go to Florida and buy and drive it back to Illinois. Why would you want to go to Florida? I wouldn't want to go to Florida. Yep. This is Larry number 2. I've owned 2 Keystone Laredos, and the last one was a 2013 Alpine that I sold during COVID. Made money, and now out of RVing for now. Okay, cool. 69 Airstreams. Yep, Airstream is my dream. My home time. There. Oh, okay, I got you. Very cool. Okay, and by the way, if you guys do want to buy from my Nevada location, you're more than welcome. I've had some subscribers already purchase from me this month, surprisingly. I think 5 out of the 7 deals we did the last week. You guys have traveled from interesting places. One guy came from all the way from South Dakota. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Anyway, I'm going to bed, guys. I need to I got so many videos. I'm so behind because I haven't been feeling good. But thank you so much for all the support and everything, guys. Hopefully this helps people out. If you're watching this later, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you enjoyed the live stream. And don't forget about our merchandise store. If you go to any of the videos that are linked out through the last 3 videos that are linked in the channel, you can go get your HBRV lifestyle shirts, hats, mugs, and water bottles. All right, guys. Miss you guys too. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Okay? Have a good one. Oh.